It would be nice if we could erase the past and start over without any trace of the pain or memories to remind us of that part of our life. But we know that life doesn't happen that way. And even when we have dealt with something in what we thought was a decisive way, the past has a way of showing up when we don't want it to. Why is that? Because the past serves a useful purpose in the present, and we need this information to make our choices if we want to avoid repeating the past. Without the lessons of the past, we wouldn't know the best course to follow today. When we are in a transition space or at a crossroads, the past becomes our best friend because it often reminds us of what we do not want to choose now. While we think that these reminders of the past arise just to show us how we failed or made the wrong choices, at the time, they felt like the only right or best choices we could make. It's only after we have lived with them and are now at the end of their energy road that we want other options. Rather than see this as a failure, we can see it as a reminder of the path which is best left to the past and seek other options. But if we judge our past as one big failure because we are not happy, rich, and successful today, then we are not using the past and its information effectively. We need to look at the energy frequency of our choices, our own vibration, our level of fear, and how clear and confident we were in the past. We also need to look at our expectations of the outcomes and results and what we were willing to tolerate or settle for, because that is how we made the final decision about our past choices. And we can view our intuition, our internal guidance system, the link between our will, divine will, and spirit, as the bridge that will help us plot the course to a more fulfilling, joyful life than we had in the past. On an energetic level, the past sets the energetic frequency baseline for the present. This is the point at which we do not want to go backwards or repeat what we experienced in the past. Thus our past is a great starting point for what we wish to create in the present, and it also reminds us of what we want to change. Think of something you never want to do again, and that sets an energetic line in the sand, so to speak, that you know you want to rise above and not cross again by repeating that experience. And we need to look at our intuition and how we were using it in the past. This is our inner guidance system, that small voice we so often overlook when it says no, don't do that, or that is probably not your most powerful choice. Have you ever tried to make a choice and kept getting blocked in every direction? Did you have to try really hard to do it anyway? What did you think of your results? That was your intuition in action, trying to guide your choices into a higher aspect. But if we don't listen to it, we'll get different results than we could have. When we listen to our intuition, we engage our most powerful spiritual connection and begin the process of expanding into new potentials for our life. But if we don't trust ourselves, if we judge our abilities and our results from the past, and if we limit our expansion, then rather than a trusted guide, our intuition becomes a nagging voice that tries to stop us from doing what we want. This is another thing we need to look at very honestly when we're looking at the past. Did we ignore our intuition and do something else? Were we so focused on going our own way that we ignored all other possibilities? We can also invite our intuition to help us assess our present choices, to help us find new avenues of potential and avoid repeating the past we don't want to repeat. When we use the combination of the results from the past, the potential for the future, and our intuition as our guide to the highest and best outcomes, we have a recipe for manifestation that will help us make more powerful choices. So rather than regretting the past, we can put it to work for us as a benchmark for what we may want to avoid in the present. And that allows us to set the energetic vibration for our next set of choices so the past is not repeated in the present. When someone uses the word intuition, we think of a psychic who can read the energy of the future and tell us what is going to happen next, or an inner voice that is going to tell us what to do next. While there are people who have the degree of intuition that allows them to be an intuitive resource for others, I can do that, and so can many of you, is a small part of intuition and not the best use of it, especially within the context of our 3D to 5D transition. Intuition is the bridge between 3D and higher dimensions, and it works best when we use it to explore our expanded potential. So we need to redefine intuition and expand it to now use it in the context of our new 5D realities. Intuition is defined today as inner knowing, but it is more correct to define it as inner consideration or contemplation, from the Latin for tuition. What happens when we begin our journey to inner contemplation or consideration? First, we remember the past that we wanted to forget. If we can move one step beyond that, we can find long-forgotten dreams and desires that we had pushed to the side because they didn't happen. And if we can move one step beyond that, we see new potentials and possibilities that are now possible because we are open to them. Our inner planes reveal our potential, which we can then move to our outer domains with alignment, integration, and action. Where we misuse our intuition is by thinking it knows better or more than we do. It doesn't, because it is part of us. So it can never know more than we do, but it does have perspective on different options because it has no judgment as to what is and is not possible. We also misuse our intuition when we ask for the answer rather than considering a variety of possibilities as different answers. In an infinite universe where everything coexists simultaneously, there is rarely a single answer to a question. Rather, there are multiple options based on how far we are willing to go in our transformation, how much we are willing to release, and how much we are willing to allow into our lives. Our intuition can show us where the best parking space is, or it can reveal a vision for a future where we are rich, happy, and successful. It depends on the questions we ask, how we ask them, and the answers we expect to receive. Our intuition is very important now because it exists on our inner planes, the energetic aspects that are being activated now, as part of our 5D integration. The information from our inner planes either trickles up to our awareness in our moments of deepest despair because we no longer have the luxury of fear or taking our time, or will consider any option because we cannot turn anything down in our hour of need. Our intuition is the 4D bridge between the inner planes of our being to the outer domains, which are the reality we have created in the past and are constantly recreating in each moment. Information constantly flows into and out of our states of being across the intuition bridge. The flow's most powerful block is judgment, which is how we limit energy flows. And as we transition into 5D, we need the information our intuition holds because it can answer questions like, what can I do to be happy? How can I bring in a higher frequency to the situation? These are powerful ways to ask questions. Powerless questions include, why is this happening to me? And show me what to do. While we want answers to those questions, asking in that way will not give us the answers we want. The universe views us as infinitely powerful, so it is not impressed by our victim consciousness, nor is it motivated to respond when we ask in powerless ways, no matter how desperate we believe we are. Accessing our intuition is a process of considering new potentials, contemplating other possibilities, and allowing the limitations of the present to become the springboard into greater joy and fulfillment. No matter how dire the situation, a more fulfilling option is always possible for us. How do you access your intuition? You start by remembering that it is your inner guidance, your connection to the source light which is always present within you. And remember that you ask the question because the answer you are ready to hear is available for you. If you want to learn more about your intuition, register for my free class Ignite Your Intuition to learn more about how to use your intuition more powerfully and for better results.